So, welcome to part two of our conversation with Elle, and we are discussing neurodivergence, multidimensional experiences, spiritual ascension, energy work, and how we're expanding into the divine human. Elle and I came together in divine flow and in divine timing, our higher selves clearly orchestrating this co-creation and this reconnection. And both of us, in a very human way, were feeling this inner nudge to just begin to share more openly and I guess more intimately our lived experience of neurodivergence alongside our intuitive and spiritual selves, our intuitive spiritual work as well. But since this is kind of part two of our conversation, I wanted to do a proper little introduction so that you can get to know who we are. So, I am Lauren Aroni from Blue Star Transmissions, and I am a cosmic, multidimensional emissary of light. So, I bring through transmissions of light, energy, sound, and geometry for the purpose of really helping you remember your divine magnificence, helping you come back home to that beautiful divine flame within your true light, your true self. And my transmissions are pretty varied. I create energy artworks, energy templates, like some of the ones you can see behind me. I hold space in groups where we connect directly with the Ascended Masters and Star Family and other higher dimensional beings, and of course, source creation, with the intention of remembering who we really are and remembering the fullness of who we are as multi-dimensional beings having a spiritual and human experience. And I also bring through one-to-one live channeled sessions with clients. And I'm holding that space to bring through direct messages from your guides, your higher self, and again, Star Family and Ascended Masters. And you can find all of my offerings at bluestartransmissions.com, and you can find all the links in the description. And meet Elle. Elle is a healer, a creative, and a fellow neurodivergent, and she's dedicated to guiding others towards stability, freedom, and self-nourishment. And I'm going to hand over to Elle here so she can introduce herself and give us a feel about the space that she's holding for her audience and her tribe.
Yes, thank you so much, Lauren. I'm so excited for today. I am, it's been an interesting journey. I'm a designer by trade, but have made a pretty sharp shift into intuitive work, healing, channeling as well. And I work one-on-one with clients. I do transformational sessions, alchemy sessions, and share space for channeled messages and intuitive readings. I was late diagnosed ADHD and autistic, which was incredible for me on my journey. It was so affirming and amazing to receive that kind of blueprint and structure about what I was experiencing basically my whole life. But something along the journey was telling me that it was something more. It wasn't just within the labels and the frameworks of what Western medicine tells us. So I'm so excited to be talking about this. I feel like so many people are struggling in the system as well. Mothers with kids, neurodiverse kids, mothers in their own journey, and often this comes about after their kids are diagnosed. So I feel like there is more. I know that there is more to explore in this space of relearning our body technology, our incredible body technology that we are incarnated into, and it's only the tip of the iceberg. I do believe that neurodiversity ADHD, autism, OCD, whatever you call it. My brother is diagnosed schizophrenic. These are not disorders. They're not disabilities. They're extra abilities that we haven't fully understood yet. So I'm so excited today to potentially talk to the Arcturians and ask some questions that will hopefully help the collective and us understand a bit more about it.
I'm just going to make sure our audience knows how to find you.
Yeah.
So all of Elle's offerings you can find at feelingandhealing.com.au, and all of her links are going to be in the description of the video. And I just wanted to also add at this point, because you're bringing through the neurodiversity, I just wanted to offer our audience like a really brief definition of what it actually is, because some people might be coming into this space totally fresh and just like, I don't actually really know what that term means. This is a very general, amalgamated little definition here. Neurodiversity suggests that neurological differences are natural variations of the human brain, much like the biodiversity we see in nature on Earth. And this is the concept that these differences among people should be recognized and respected. Neurodiversity is part of our genetics and our evolution as a species. The genes for autism and ADHD are not errors, but rather the result of variations in the human genome that have and will continue to have advances for society. And then some of the examples of neurodiversity, which Elle has already mentioned, is autism spectrum disorder, ASD, ADHD, schizophrenia, obsessive compulsive disorder, bipolar disorder, sensory processing disorder, as of those. And that's just some examples of neurodiversity. There are more as well. And as Elle already mentioned, in our part one conversation, we wanted to bring in the Arcturians, who are highly advanced multidimensional beings that we both know how to connect with. We want to bring them into the conversation today at some point to ask some questions about neurodiversity. I think we both have a list of questions written down of things that we are interested in, that we would like their perspective on. And so I think that'll flow in maybe the second half of this video. Yeah. And I feel in these conversations that what we're bringing forward in this co-creation is how neurodivergent people are on that cutting edge of our natural human evolution. We are beginning to step forward and be visible more and more, because just now is the right time. I think a lot of us are still seeking validation and healing and wanting to really harness our gifts of neurodivergence and how we can bring that forward with our intuition and our spiritual understanding to really birth new things in our world that can be helpful to everyone. So yeah, I just feel this underlining, real excitement with this expansion in our conversation. So our conversation's just unfolding naturally. I mean, it has a bit of a vibe of a podcast, but I'm just going to step back from like attaching to anything and trying to name it or categorize it. We just let this be exactly what it is. I love you in pink.
Yes.
And
Thank
the
you.
Spice
I love this
Girls.
color. Of course. I'm like, what am I going to wear underneath? Of course I'm going to wear that.
I love it. Okay, here's the question. Which Spice Girl are you?
I was always made to be baby, so I was never wanted to be baby, but I
What did
had
you
really
want to be?
light blonde hair. I wanted to be sporty or scary. I liked scary. I like scary.
Yeah.
I like scary.
Yeah. They're all awesome. Like,
They're all awesome. And now my girls love them. So it's just like,
yes. That's awesome. I haven't asked you this before, but I haven't asked you about your kids. I know you have 3 kids. You have 2 girls?
yes, 2 younger girls. So, well, firstly, my stepson came and he is 20. So I started caring for him when he was 4. and I just turned 21.
Wow.
And yeah, so it was pretty early to just like bang into like a mother role. My husband's ex-wife, Summer, one of my best friends, has become one of my best friends. She's coming with us to Halloween with the little girl. So then we've got Layla, who's 8, and Andy, who just turned 6.
Oh, beautiful. Oh,
Yeah.
amazing. It's amazing the correlation because I met my stepson when he was the same age, 4.
Oh my
And so
gosh.
I've been in his life since he was that age, and now he's 12. Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's
Yeah.
fascinating. Yeah, the whole
Yeah.
blended family thing, like that's totally has been our life just, yeah, forever,
Yeah, you
forever.
don't know any different, right?
Nah.
Yeah. That's the same with us too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, sharing, not only sharing holidays, but sharing it together and bringing everyone together and, making sure it's for the kids. It's always been for the kids. And that whole concept of um, parenthood and parenting was
Yeah.
so big for me for so long. And I was getting these like sort of, I guess, downloads about parenting and how the universe is about a parenting, and then we're going through a reparenting and all this stuff right before I even got into this
Yeah.
space. And then I was like, and then the star mothers come in and I'm just like, oh wow, this is just wild.
Amazing. Well, I definitely invite you to bring any messages from them in this conversation if that flows. Like, I would love to feel and experience the Star Mothers through you as well. So I welcome that.
Yeah, they're beautiful. I just see flowers, and when I connect with them, it's all like floral flowers. And I was sitting in the bush this morning because I was feeling really overwhelmed this morning. But that often happens when they're just like they come really close, and it's like I don't know if you experience that. It's a bit like, oh, what's happening? You might be a bit more experienced than me, so but
No, well,
yeah,
it can, you know what? It can be a lot when a strong spiritual energy comes in and you like, say, in the start of the day, and it's like the start of the day is really busy, just as a mom, like in the
yeah,
house, getting stuff ready for school, doing this house stuff, and you're just like, listen, I feel you there, and you know when my workday starts. So just pause, I acknowledge it, and then just can you please not bring the energy in? I actually sometimes will say, can you pause? And can you please pause? And they always
yeah,
draw back. They kind of just draw back a little bit because they have some understanding of just being a human and that we can't always be instantly ready to like bring something through. So I always do my best to acknowledge it and then ask them to pull back if it's a bit strong because sometimes they don't know how how strong the energy is. And they're also learning how to bridge energy with us as well.
mm,
So they get the experience of like, okay, that was too much, or that wasn't the right frequency, or let's optimize this. So it goes, there's a lot of learning on both ends, I find. Um,
yeah.
I'm sorry to hear you were feeling a bit overwhelmed this morning.
It's all good. It's a normal part. I don't like the word normal. It's a typical part of my experience anyway. I feel like every day I move through different fields. It's a constant like moving through waves. Um, so I can often be like, is this mine, or is this collective, or is this someone in the house, or is it someone at school, or maybe it's someone who's going to call me in 2 hours. It's very like and often it's actually someone I'm going to have a session with that day or the day after. And so I'll get on the session and they'll just start saying all this stuff that they were feeling. And I'm like, okay, that's what I've been feeling. So that was theirs.
Yeah,
But
you get
yeah,
the preview of the energy. Yes, I get those too. And sometimes you have to sift through whose it could be. Yeah, yeah, I totally understand that. Okay. I love the headband I'm wearing, but I'm having such a sensory issue with it. I wish it was
yeah,
soft.
I
It's
totally
so
get that.
hard. It's like full. It's like full. It's like
Oh,
metal.
wow. You know what? I think my
It's so
daughter has the
pretty.
same one, but she only wears it for like 30 seconds and then she's like, nah, nah.
Yeah. I wish it was soft, but I need my, I'll
I
see,
feel like
see how long I can do it.
sensory stuff comes more about too for me when I'm going to channel or when I'm going to do energy work. It's like
Yeah.
sensory stuff goes ring. It's just
Yeah.
like, then I'm like, oh, like
Because
it's
it's on my
great. It
head.
feels great,
It's
but
on my head. Like it's on my crown. And then it pinches behind my head. I'm like, ah.
and they're the two spots that
Oh,
like that's the
I know,
back
right?
chakra
Yeah, that
and then your
one.
crown.
I've got to find, so universe, connect me with a soft pearl headband.
Oh my gosh. The universe provides. You know,
It
I'm going to
always
give you just
does.
something really quickly. Simple.
Go for
Like
it. Go for it.
I wanted to buy white Nike shoes. Like I just really wanted just plain white Nike shoes. I looked at the price and I'm like, no, I'm not buying these shoes. They're really expensive.
Yeah.
So I was at cricket training and there's these white Nike shoes just sitting under a tree, just sitting there. And I'm like, and we're all training, and I went to every single person. I'm like, whose are these shoes? Like these shoes, like no one even looked at the shoes or noticed the shoes or said anything about the shoes. And then I was like, oh, well, they're going to be someone's. I left them there. We went to leave. And then I'm like, is this anyone's shoes? Took it in through the club, through the whole place. And then it started raining. I'm like, I can't leave the shoes here. What do I do? And then my husband's like, just bring them and we'll ask around the club. So we asked around the club. No one's claiming these shoes. So I'm like, are these shoes mine? Did you get me some white Nike
And
shoes?
clearly they're yours, right?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So weird. And they're my
Amazing.
size 9, which is, yeah,
Wow. I'm
really
not
weird,
surprised,
really
but
great, but weird.
that's a really good example of great manifesting. They're just sitting there, existing in their own little bubble, waiting for you.
Yeah.
Like, how do you explain that? Yeah.
I- So many of these things have happened that I can't really explain it.
Yeah.
It's got to do with the frequency you're at. Oh, well, a whole lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the purity of the intention and
Yeah. It is
yeah.
such a specific combination, I think, of factors. Um, yeah, it's exactly what you said, purity of intention, and then like literally stating the intention. Like I'm all about the power of words and your voice and saying it out loud and actually having out loud conversations with like the universe or your guides or your higher self. And I think that's actually helpful for people that are very internalized, like introverts,
Mm.
because there's a lot going on here. And once you actually get it out of you, there's just it's a different processing, isn't it? The externalization of things. Yeah. So back to manifesting, purity of intention, stating your intention, and then the alignment of all the factors. I think there's a feeling of alignment. Like I think when you're really focusing on bringing something in, there's a feeling of like, how focused is that alignment right now? And then that other magical factor of like letting go, like I'm going to really hand this over to the universe to sort out every single detail. And then I'm going to step back and trust it instead of trying to go in and check, is it close? Is it coming? When's it coming?
Yeah.
How's it going to be delivered? And just you got to push right back from that. And then listening to your guidance. So that inner yes or no, the inner no can sometimes be not right now or just not the right timing. Yeah. So yeah, there's so many factors. Yeah.
Like I feel like that's such a big piece in, and for so many, and for me, this was this huge piece in worthiness and in being able to receive, like, or being okay to receive, because I feel like so many empaths and so many healers and all those sorts of beings are so giving and giving and giving, and it's like we come in and we almost remember this mission of we got to give, we've got to help, but that's just that's half of the yin and yang. That is half. That is none of the So that's like all yang, giving, 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 giving. That's no yin, which is receiving. We
Yeah.
have to be completing the cycle. There's so many different parts of that. Like, yeah, for me, being able to receive and just say thank you. Oh my gosh, I couldn't ever do that. That was a huge part of my journey, just to say thank you, or even for someone to say, oh my gosh, that was amazing what you did. And I'd be like, oh no, sort of like brush it off or just feel uncomfortable. And that's a big part of my journey now, is actually allowing myself to shine and not dim myself. But yeah, there's so many different pathways we could go down. I'm not going to keep talking.
Yeah, no, I resonate with everything that you're saying. And I totally agree. Like so many empaths, light workers, neurodivergents are wired to give. It's just the way we're wired. Like it's something so inbuilt. I mean, that's what I feel from my experience. And you can't really turn it off, but you can learn to balance, like you said, the giving and the receiving. And yeah, I'm the same. Like, when people are like really, really appreciative, really giving you proper, deep, awesome feedback and compliments, it's hard to receive. I think sometimes in the nervous system, it's like too much. Like you can feel the truth of what's being spoken, but it's hard to take it on fully, I think.
Mm.
Um, and I think that does tie into self-love, self-worth, feeling worthy of love and appreciation. Because like being highly sensitive, you feel everything deeply, and that's part of the gift, is that when you feel love, it's like there's such a depth to those, to love and all the different types of love there are in life, as well as the other stuff that's challenging, like grief and disappointment and guilt. Like, truly is the full spectrum of the human experience. And I think that is what we chose to, part of the reason we did choose to be wired this way when we came in, because we wanted the full experience of every possible human emotion, human
Like we were
connection.
going in and we're like, yep, I'll have that, 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 that. Yep, put me down for that. Right, let's go. I want it all.
And maybe
Then you
not
come and
quite.
you forget and you're like, oh,
You're like, why did I sign on for everything? Oh, yeah, that's right. I did it when I was in my spirit body and I was feeling super powerful and aligned, and
yeah.
that's okay.
So much came through this week. Wow. I can remember even a moment when I was driving, probably driving to cricket. I play cricket now. Had my kids in the car and I was thinking, it's funny, I say I was thinking, but it's often them communicating and showing me messages, downloads. But thinking about the typical human, and they showed me a human body, just a human vessel, and it was red, just almost like the root chakra red. And then I was like, okay, well then show me autism. And what I saw was so if you think of that as the human, and then the next one is the human, the autistic human, but the spectrum was right up here and it was purple, and it was almost like just up outside of the body. And I could really resonate and connect with that, because part of my autism, or the reason why I was diagnosed, was because of the sort of disassociation, and I sometimes have shutdowns. So it's where my system basically shuts down, and I'll go almost up out of my body, and I was shown up and to the right, but it was vast, a vast open spectrum. Yes, and I feel like the first representation of the human, there's so many things coming in right now, like so many different modalities, like human design, talk about different types of human designs. So
The blueprints, these different
yeah, the
blueprints.
different blueprints. So the typical human is embodied. If you think about even spiral dynamics, talk about moving up the spiral, which is like basically the colors of the chakra. and it talks about levels of consciousness. So the typical human is embodied in the human body. You know, they do their work every day. They're happy, they're in the system. They're the worker bee. But I feel like I've just got energy running through my body right now. I really do feel like the neurodiverse souls who are here are to, wow, there's so much energy, to recreate the matrix, to recreate from the inside out and to do things differently. And so,
Yeah, to
in the
break
way,
through the paradigm that has been running here for so long, which keeps people running in that certain bandwidth and almost denies the average person, so to speak, even the will to want to go out of the bandwidth. Yes, please continue.
yes.
Yeah,
So it's about representation. It's about getting on social media. It's about showing your true, crazy, authentic essence of you and your
yeah,
magical, mystical self. Like for me, like I love Pokemon. I'm like, I need to put more Pokemon on my Instagram. Like, this is what we're called to do, is to show more of us and the different way of living, the different way of being in this world, so that those who maybe aren't as open and connected and able to see outside the structure have people to lead the way and to be the lighthouse for that. So I do
yeah,
feel like that's a big part of it. But then talking about the actual lived experience of the neurodiverse brain and body, it is
mhm,
difficult
yeah,
because I've been shown in many meditations and things that for a long time we were like lights all split up around the world, all separate, all feeling, and oh, I know I felt it, feeling alone, feeling so
yeah.
alone, not even knowing
Me too.
why. No, why am I feeling alone? Like, what am I feeling alone from? I don't understand. And I had a moment where I just broke down. I had many moments where I broke down, but one of them was I commanded that my soul tribe come in. I command it. I command it. And so
Yeah,
then it was interesting how I started having these people appear in my life who thought they were neurodiverse also. Oh, I feel like I have ADHD. And these
yeah,
souls started coming in.
yeah,
And so what I do feel strongly is that neurodiverse souls have come into, uh, I'm just having a look at something that I channeled last week. We basically came in as um, a bridge from the 3D matrix into the higher realms.
yeah. We're like, we're way showers, we're system busters,
Mm.
literally. Like in our frequency band, in our auric field, we are already system busters. We brought everything with us. We brought the full spectrum of who we are here in this reality. And so it does come with the challenges of living it in a body, because being a bridge, we are literally not only bridging the higher frequencies here, we're bridging the frequencies from up to below, so to speak, but we're bridging it for what you just said, like for the humans here that are not operating in those higher realms yet. Um, we literally have to bring the frequencies to them at this level for them to access it. So we're the access points, we're nodes, we're so many things. And we came to break through all of that programming. So we come through with a lot of that programming. Our systems reject it, I think, the programming a lot very early on, but we still have to accept some of it to operate here. There's just certain rules that you have to agree to being in this reality and in a body, right? You just have to go along with it. It's part of the experience.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of our system rejecting it. And that's the challenge, is like, how do I literally swim through this as a human? Like, how do I actually move through this reality and be the fullness of who I am? Um, and now, I don't know about you, but it feels like some beacon has gone off now.
Oh
Like we're
yeah.
certainly not the first people to sit down and talk about this, but and to share it openly. But there's some beacon that's gone out to all of the neurodivergents all around the world globally, going, "Hey, it's time to stand up now and be seen and be heard." Um, because I actually think, especially in the next, say, 20 to 50 years, we're going to be the majority
Yeah.
population. So, and yes, we need to speak up. We feel to speak up so that our brothers and sisters worldwide don't feel so alone. And yes, I love what you said about just sharing all of our quirks, all of us, from all of the high spiritual level stuff to the very human, everyday things, um, so that people can just feel comfortable to be themselves here, like
And I,
giving
I love what
others
you, yeah.
permission.
Mm. I love what you said with, you do feel like most of the population will be this way. I do feel so strongly about that. I'm even experiencing part of that in my household. So when I was going through my diagnosis, and it was a big overwhelming period because I was connecting with spirit and but not really understanding and all those sorts of things. And so the sensory overwhelm was like really high. Now I get the sensory overwhelm, but I have tools. I have grounding tools. I have movement tools. I know what to do. Even like yeah, visualization things that I can do to run the energy.
Yeah.
Now I'm experiencing and seeing that from the people that live in my household. They're having these sensory things happen. They're maybe not fully aware of it, but I can see like whereas they weren't like that before. And so I
Mm.
think it's really interesting. And I would love to hear if anyone's watching this in the comments can maybe reflect on their life and anything they've noticed with people around them. Maybe they have gone through the journey, and is there others around them who are now either activating, like I'm getting activating, or waking up. And another thing I wanted to
Yeah.
go back with what you said earlier was us being like the nodes, right? With the energy coming
Hmm.
in. That's
Yeah.
where creativity comes in. The creativity to be able to hold and channel what's coming through into whatever form, which it can then be seen and expressed and experienced by those, whether it's through music, art, writing, channeling, all those
Yes.
sorts of things.
Yeah, I'm a huge advocate for supporting any type of creativity, especially for highly sensitive people like us, because, like, from my experience, a lot of our life is lived internally and it can be very noisy in there, very busy. And we are wired to be creative. There is this natural flow of energy that you are tapped into all the time, whether you realize it or not. And sometimes that can seem like a very busy mind or unsettled in the body. That is sometimes actual creative flow, which is like actual a flow of light, right? That creative juice. If you find any way to externalize it, I recommend it. Like anything, however small, however non-typically creative, like doesn't have to be painting or drawing or singing or dancing. There's so many different ways to just externalize. And
For me,
I
it's cooking. Cooking
cooking. Yeah,
is a
cooking.
huge one for me. Like if I cook, I'm good for the day. Like I just
Yeah.
love it. I put these on and I'm cooking and I'm creating and then I'm offering it to my family and watching
Yeah.
them eat it. Like,
Yeah, and that just, yeah, whatever lights you up, right? Find the thing that makes
mm,
you happy. And sometimes that can also be very childlike, like really childlike. Like um for my daughter, if she's really like dysregulated, I find a task for her where she can put things in order, either in rainbow order. She loves putting things in rainbow order, or just, some little, beads, crystals, or, little flowers or clovers or something outside, to put them in order. That is also an externalization. It's just coming out of the inside and placing your attention and focus outside of yourself. I find with the way we're wired, you have to balance the inside and the outside world to function better. Because again, I'm going to say this again, you're tapped into this natural current of energy all the time. And if you keep it all circulating just within, it has nowhere to go. And usually if it's stuck running inside, it can turn destructive. Um, and so you just got to find a way to just place it outside of your body. The somatic practices, and movement, I think are really, really good as well. Like I was naturally sporty as a child. I think I'm just naturally athletic. So I loved dance. I loved running. Um, and I think for me, like I'm a short burst of energy person. So like athletics, I could do 100 meters, 200 meters. I'll just run 110% and then be exhausted.
Yeah.
That's just the way my energy is wired, and that's just something I've
I'm
come
the
to
same.
understand.
I did lifting. I did,
Yeah,
like weightlifting. And then I did pole dancing.
amazing. I love that. Yeah.
But the short
Um,
burst of, yeah.
yeah. And then just touching on what you said before about sensory overwhelm. So when you're a highly sensitive person, the sensory overwhelm that neurodivergents often experience is obviously the physical sounds are overwhelming, sensations of clothing. And then beyond that, you're also processing subtle energy. So, energy from other people, energy from other higher dimensional beings that might be present around you. And that's where things can get a little bit tricky because often no one has taught you how to identify or sift through what those different inputs are. So that is something that we both offer in the spaces that we hold for people to start exploring and trusting because you have your own internal guidance system, which can help you navigate all those different inputs. And I think a lot of people that are going to find themselves watching this, they are finding that they're at a point of that they are awakening spiritually and they don't know how to kind of make sense of it through their other neurodiverse gifts. But I think that's something we're wired for too. So our sensitivity wires us for sensitivity of subtle energy all the way through all of the dimensional layers, all of the earth realm and all of the ones beyond that. So um, that can be hard to navigate. Um,
One of the, so for ADHD, I don't know where I got this from or whether I just renamed it. I changed it to attention dialed into higher dimensions, ADHD.
I love
Attention
that.
dialed into higher dimensions.
I feel like I've heard that before. I don't know if that's like a deja vu thing where it's like, yes, of course, that's the best alternative. And you just brought it forward. But yes, that so
Yeah,
resonates.
I feel
That's
like we
really,
need to reframe that because that's what it is. We're
yeah,
so tapped in. And I think ADHD is that kind of, it's almost like a laser. It's like a laser, like, and tapped in. Whereas I feel like the autism is, I kind of was shown it was more like here, but really wide and deep and feeling everything just in this subtle way, which can get really overwhelming. Mm,
I love the different way you visually describe that because it's not only a visual, but a feeling. Yeah.
mm. And that's
Mm.
part of, well, one of the questions I'd love to ask the Arcturians is,
Yeah, which
yeah,
is.
about that. Um,
But yeah,
so
I
one
think
of them, what is ADHD? What is autism? But then what do ADHD and autism reflect from a multidimensional coding perspective? Are they different in the energetic field?
yeah, that's a great question. I mean, intuitively, if I was going to answer that, if you ask me, they're all part of the same wiring and spectrum. Like I don't, yeah, it's interesting going back to the colors. You know how you're talking about the colors before? So the autism being more purple violet,
It was like
like
purple and it was like wide, like, but above, I
yeah,
sort of, I mean, it's still in the body, right? But it was like wide, it
yes.
was huge. It's like if this was the body, it was like, whoosh.
But I felt that too. I felt it like the purple. I never thought about identifying ADHD or autism with a color, but now that I'm tuning into it, I feel the purple. And I feel like the ADHD for me is like more blue, like very blue, like this kind of blue,
Yeah.
blue, almost like turquoise and very fast. And it, again, like coming straight down, tick, 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 tick. Yeah. And I didn't mention this to you yet, but when we had our first conversation and I was tuning into I was making the, the YouTube graphic for our video and I was tuning into colors. And when I felt us, our energy combined, our powers combined, I felt the pink and the purple, and those were our colors. And now today we're wearing purple. And it's not like I'm purple and you're pink. It's like together we create these colors.
Yeah, that's great.
So I just wanted to share that because that was just a beautiful coincidence that I didn't share with you yet. And this is how we've turned up. And I just wanted to touch on what you said about reframing because I feel like a big part of our conversation is all about reframing, renaming things to fine tune what they actually are. And going back again to what we said about neurodivergence, ADHD and autism, these are not disorders. These are different wirings with specific gifts and challenges. And the more of us that share, the more we can understand each other and lift each other up. That's like baseline what
And
we're
I feel
doing.
like totally. And the more I do feel like this is big for mothers too. And the more that they can then advocate for their kids and support their kids without feeling like they have to listen to what the doctor's going to say or what Western medicine is saying is the way to go about it.
Yeah, there is
Mm.
more than one perspective about this, about how you're wired and what your life can look like. So it's important to have that medical information because at the beginning it does have some value and does help. We need that as well. But we're moving way beyond that. But yeah, I do want to acknowledge the mothers who are finding themselves here watching this, who have maybe just had one or more of their children diagnosed as on the spectrum, and then are discovering through their child's diagnosis that they are also on the spectrum. And I speak for myself and Elle, that is how we discovered our neurodivergence. I didn't really clock onto mine until my twins were at least 1 year old. I had many indicators before that I ignored and didn't take seriously because I thought, or I told myself, no, you don't really have that. And no, maybe you think it's nice to be categorized that. I didn't take it seriously. The first little breakthrough I had was actually I was studying my Bachelor of Counseling. So it's not a Bachelor of Psychology, but you're learning psychology. And we had to do a speech on a particular disorder in the DSM. And I chose autism. I chose it. And no one wanted it. No one wanted to touch it. But I'm like, me, I'll do it. I'm
Wow.
so excited to do it. And I did a deep dive, did like the best research I've ever done on any assignment throughout that entire degree. Because being ADHD, most of my assignments were late or done at the very, very last second. So
Yeah.
this one was different because I was really deep diving. And then it's like the day after, I was actually reflecting. I'm like, oh my goodness, I think I might have Asperger's because at the time that was the term that was being used, high functioning autism, which we don't use anymore. I was like, oh my goodness. And I really sat for a long time out in nature, just really letting it settle in. And it was a breakthrough, but then I sort of just let it slip away and I didn't really take it seriously because I'm like, well, I'm not going to get diagnosed and blah, blah, blah. I talked myself out of having it, basically. And then became a mother later on. And then I'm like, oh no, this is really happening now. And then what helped me the most was seeing and receiving other women's lived experience of their ADHD and autism. And that's what made me take it seriously because of the vulnerability, the things they were sharing about, being really dysregulated, the depression, the overwhelm, like those things were never really explained. And when I heard those women's experiences, I thought, okay, now I'm taking this seriously. So I want to thank those women for sharing that because it was so valuable to me. And I am actually still, I am self-diagnosed. I'm actually not diagnosed. I went for a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder and I did it all online. And I was really disappointed when I didn't get that diagnosis. And the main thing they told me was one, I didn't have enough repetitive behaviors, and two, that I was too self-aware. And this is
Mm.
very common feedback that women get after not getting a diagnosis. So after that, I saw another psychologist and they talked me through that disappointment basically. And their opinion was that I should probably go for a diagnosis of ADHD, but that I was definitely neurodivergent. And once I understood that term, I'm like, you know what? That's actually all the information I need. I know from the depths of my soul that I am neurodivergent. I just know. And
That's it. It's just you don't
I
need
just
anybody
knew.
else. It's the
And
self-awareness, self-witnessing. Mm.
yeah, and I didn't go out trying to find it or trying to be diagnosed. It found me. Like, and there's just that deep inner knowing I am wired this way. And that was enough for me.
Mm.
So, I mean, in the back of my mind, I have earmarked maybe I should just go for a diagnosis of ADHD at some point. But the other side of it is, I would also like to represent those people who are self-diagnosed because
Yes,
I
this
think
is
that's important too.
such a big thing. I say this
So,
to so many women, so many mothers, especially. You don't have to go and spend a couple of grand to go and get a piece of paper for someone to tell you what you know you are. You don't need that.
yeah,
Um, unless you're like, no, maybe you want to trial medication, things like that. I did trial that. I ended up being on 9 tablets a day. It helped me work. It helped me. I think we're frozen. Nope, we're back.
yeah.
It
Helped
it
you
helped me
function,
work.
right?
It helped me function. But the other side of it all, it took me out of my essence. My essence is crazy, messy, chaotic, all of that. I just needed to, and which we have completely restructured our entire life. Every facet of our life has changed in a good way so that it could be structured for me. And now that structure we use for our kids. And I think that's one of the biggest things. And I keep coming back to mothers. And I think, and this is what I was thinking, literally dropping my kids off this morning. This was this whole download about mothers. I was thinking about mothers. And then Spirit was bringing through it was almost like this storytelling piece of Spirit thinking about creating the human being. Okay, this is the human being. We're going to create the human being. And it was like this single human being. This is just what came through this morning. I don't know if it's true or if it was a download or what. And then it was about, okay, well, what are we going to do to keep the species going and things like that. And so there was this whole piece about, okay, splitting into the male and female. And then it was talking about, yes, but the mother energy of the universe, that is going to be a really important function of this. Let's embody that in the female. Let's embody that. I'm getting full body shivers. Let's
Me too.
embody that in the mother and the energy of the mother. The whole society, the last few thousand years have been very patriarchal, very masculine, very much in that space. And I think we've done great job as a human society to change the trajectory and to move more into the feminine space. And this was also part of the download this morning, in that it's not about a them and us. It's not about a masculine and feminine against each other. It's about being a combined divine union in order to parent ourselves properly, parent our kids properly, and download these divine templates in order to move forward. And so the energy of the mother is, and I saw this in my third eye, the energy of the mother is, and it was with a child that was dysregulated and a child that was even violent. And I know mothers go through this often with kids who are, they're really dysregulated, and things can happen. My daughter does that a lot. She does that. And I sometimes have to step back when my husband comes in, just to hold her.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of mothers don't have this piece of like squaring off your shoulders and standing there and saying no, and being that commander and being that powerful mother force. And that's in advocating for your kids. That's in talking to the doctor, talking to the GP. That's in learning about neurodiversity, learning about your kids' experience, your own experience, all of that, and sharing with other mothers online, and your own experience. And I love that piece of sharing lived experience. That is the key. So we all don't feel alone. And so that we can, change how it's viewed.
Yeah.
I know I went off on a bit of a tangent, but I had a lot coming through.
No, that's okay. We work with tangents. That's what we do here. So there's no apologizing for tangents. There's just so many things that I am resonating deeply with what you're saying, and I want to just make sure I hit all the points. So I'm just going back to what you were saying about, there's so many good things you were saying, like the reparenting, like the divine masculine and the divine feminine coming back into balance once more on this planet, so that we can heal and actually create from a very balanced place, and honoring the gifts of the divine mother of creation and the divine father of creation, and the divine masculine and feminine within those expressions. And the divine mother is returning, not just the divine feminine, the divine mother, like you said, of creation. That energy is returning in a huge way. It's being remembered and embodied by many at this time. And it is a key, that energy comes with so much flow and currents of light that it changes things very quickly. I'm just using my hands here to kind of demonstrate the flow. It instigates change very quickly. It dismantles the old very quickly. It dismantles what is not truth, what is not purity, what is not God's divine plan. So I love what you said about that. And I was getting light language coming through when you were talking about the divine mother, because I know that between us, that's a divine puzzle piece that we're both holding in our own way, is that divine mother archetype in our energy, as well as human mothers.
No, I feel the star mother essence. I feel them in my field when my heart starts going, and my head will often start nodding when they're coming in. I feel the presence.
The Andromeda star mothers, they just, now that we're connecting in with them, they're just present, flowing through, and they bring their love and joy at this remembrance.
It is
between
joy.
you and
It
me.
is the key word.
The joy. There's so much joy. And this is coming in again, so I'm going to say it, is that I feel through my own essence and the way my neurodivergence expresses itself is I can be very childlike. And that can be in the way that I guess the inner innocence that I still carry that never went away Even just the way I might want to dress or express myself can be a bit more childlike. Te kaeri, kushuri na, ti. And that essence is also returning. That is part of the frequency that us neurodivergents are bringing in, this childlike innocence,
Mm.
freedom of flow that connects again with that creativity, right? Because we're learning how to work with the universal frequency. And when you're working in this wiring, you are constantly expanding, constantly in movement. There is no stagnation. Stagnation creates depression, and the internalization is too deep. And that ties into what I was saying before about allowing the creative to be expressed externally. Because I think for some people, definitely for me, that is part of the healing. It is part of the healing and remembrance. And so the star mothers are saying, allow the waters to flow. That was my tangent.
That was beautiful. And every single thing you said, I see it often as like a waterfall as well. They bring in a lot of waterfalls.
Mm,
When I started channeling them, which I didn't expect, and I kept seeing waterfalls, and I was in circle, and I brought them through, and I spoke to my mentor who was there holding the circle. And then after the channeling came through, and it was beautiful and subtle, and it was about joy and vision. I kept talking about joy and vision. That's all you need, joy
mm.
and vision.
Yeah,
And then one of the other ladies was just sitting there afterwards, and she said, "Oh, all I could see was a waterfall." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so real." I still had that. Is this real? Yes, it's real. This energy is so real.
yeah.
When you started
If you feel it
speaking,
in your body,
I
if you're
can feel
feeling it in
it.
your body, it's real.
And it's also
It's
through
real.
the screen. So everyone who is viewing this, you just have to be in a place of allowing, and you allow it to come through, and the shifts can happen.
Yeah,
And the essence of the child, that is source, that is within everyone.
yeah,
That's what we're all what we're all on this mission to come back to. It's
mm,
that childlike joy, that pure essence, that
yeah,
playful innocence. And it is the innocence. I work a lot with the embodied I Ching, working with the ancient book of changes, and the innocence is spoken of through that book, and also the creative. And when I was doing my divination through this book, it kept coming up as the creative, the creative, the creative, the creative. And how the ego affects, and all the things of our ego affect the innocent child, because the
yeah,
innocent child doesn't feel heard, doesn't feel seen, feels scared. So it's this unraveling and
yeah.
unlearning and letting go.
The letting go. Yeah, because the ego is not bad in and of itself, but the ego is always trying to protect itself. That's why it wants control. It wants to know what's going to happen. It wants to feel safe. It wants to know what the boundaries are, and it likes the structure of that. But the way we're wired is just way beyond structure. We are just beyond the linear, way beyond. We do not operate in a linear way at all. And I think that's why it is linked with the Divine Mother creation energy, because that is in constant movement and flow, always moving in spirals. It's not moving in lines. And again, with the child, what you were sharing about the child is what I've been shown collectively. Like if we just kind of zoom out a bit to the collective consciousness of humanity, is that we are regrouping ourselves. We're going through our own inner child healing collectively, where it's like we're actually moving through this stage of we're growing up. So and what happens when you grow up, you become more independent and you own yourself more. You own who you are, you own your boundaries, your power, and you find your voice. And I think collectively that is definitely what we're stepping into, where we're telling the system, I've had enough of you, and this is what I'm going to do. This is what we actually want, and this is how we want to live and how we want to operate. Leno karina hiano. All of this is weaved together. It is no mistake that there are so many neurodivergent people getting diagnosed, remembering who they are now, because it's just time. This is just part of the natural awakening, mass awakening of humanity, where we're coming out of illusion and stepping into truth. Tikarano inmane.
Mm.
Yeah,
My girls have a book that's called Rebel Girls. And it
I've
just
heard of
talks
that.
about, yeah, it's a beautiful
Yeah,
book. It's got Frida Kahlo, who was a
yeah,
painter, Mexican painter, incredible women. That was just shown to me now. And um, it's like we're kind of called to do that, to be the rebel in the most purely unconditionally loving way, which isn't them and us, a fight. Some people are called to be that blueprint of the person who's there, fighting for standing up, fighting. That's a certain type of person, but there is this call of the rebel. And one thing that I was shown about humanity is that we're going through a teenager phase. This is like the teenage, we're going, yeah. And the teenager kind of, doesn't want to be a little kid anymore. But then it's like that part of us we also have to honor while we also are growing up and maturing. And I think this is a big part of even disclosure and all of those things that I feel that are coming to the planet and will come in the next 5 to 10 years,
yeah,
is a maturation.
yes. I
Mm.
was given exactly the same information that we are going from teenager to young adult or adult.
Yeah.
And it's interesting when I'm hearing you deliver that, is that um, when you get into that, speaking very generally, when you move into your 20s and then 30s, you get that different perspective of your family, right? Your biological family or the family you grew up with, whatever that looks like for you. And you just have that different perspective of like your parents and your siblings that just comes with a maturing, right? So it makes sense that as we move through that phase, we are drawing in that original knowledge of our star families and our origins, because we're wanting to remember and have that new perspective of who we are and where we come from and how that has shaped who we are. So that just makes so much sense in that
Mm.
particular way.
And as I
Yeah.
drank my water, I was shown to use the blue cup. I picked it up and I'm like, that's so interesting. The blue we're talking about with the ADHD and the color of.
I love that blue. Like that blue. Blue is my favorite color, but that particular blue
Wow.
does some, I have a physical reaction in my nervous system to that blue. It's
Yeah.
yummy. It's delightful. It's fully
Electric.
charged. It's electric. Yes. Um,
And my there you go, my sheet as well.
my other favorite blue, the cobalt blue. Oh, there's so many blues. Blue, blue and green. Oh, gorgeous. And you know what? I love that combination of that pink you're wearing, the pink and that cobalt blue together. I love that combination. It's very empowered, divine feminine, those two colors, I find.
Mm. Oh, and it took me so long to get here. I know you're probably feeling the same. It's just like, wow, so much to get here, and so deeply grateful for every single thing that's happened to like break me over and over and over, break me until I'm like, nah, I'm solid now. Like I'm feeling like
You are
super
solid.
resilient. It's that spiritual resilience. And it's time for the spiritually resilient to speak up and to shine their light. There's a huge calling for that. And there's so many, even in the circles that I sit in, I'm like, when are you going to do your socials? Come on, I can help you, because I love that stuff. I'm like, let's go. And they're like, oh, I'm like, you're so ready.
That's
Let's
it.
go.
And there's people watching this who are feeling ready, but maybe don't have this, they don't have a group of people, they don't have a circle, they don't have a space. So look, we both hold spaces if you feel drawn to our work, or we both hold spaces for you to literally step into your mastery and step into visibility. And sometimes you just need a little bit of encouragement or a confirmation that you're on the right track. I hold a space called the Light Emissaries Group. It's a monthly group where you can literally receive a live transmission of light, but you also get to show up in that space as being of spiritual service, where your job is to be a bridge of light in your own unique way, to bridge those higher frequencies and send all of your beautiful infinite love light to Mother Gaia and humanity, to be that like really tangible transducer that's holding the energy of the new earth. So if you vibe with that, you can check out my Light Emissary group. And Elle, are you holding space in groups online or in person?
Both,
Yeah.
both. I've held a couple just singular, but they're literally shouting at me on a daily basis. Start the weekly. They want me to do, it's me too. It's a co-creation, but it just keeps coming through as just Monday magic, and a Monday magic session weekly. Just so that will come very soon.
What
Yes,
do you want
very
to bring
soon.
through on the Magic Monday? Are you talking about the channeling stuff, or what are you talking about there?
This is for mission souls to come together to find their magic, to hold space for and make sense of what's going on. I'll hold meditation, healing practices, running alchemy, and sharing tools. So because we heal ourselves, we're healers, we're born healers. We just haven't fully activated it all within us. And so my mission is to help every single human being that I can to activate their own healing
Yeah.
and realize their mission, because there are mission souls. And I realize that every single person that I'm working with, I keep getting mission soul, mission soul, mission soul. I'm like, right, okay. There's a
Yes.
reason why I run a design company and worked for Disney and Warner Bros. And did these projects and did events and did branding. And I'm like, why did I do all of this and then shift into spirituality? Very confusing. And I'm like, do I leave it all behind? And now it's this place where I'm reintegrating all parts of it. And
Yeah.
one of them is literally through social media, helping mission souls
Yeah.
to get themselves online in their own essence. So I'm putting together, and it takes time to get together the offerings and stuff, but
Oh yeah.
um
Yeah.
that's a part of the Monday magic. Is I'm wanting to empower mission souls to realize and not even fully realize their mission, because like you said, that is a big thing. It can be like, oh, my mission. You know what? Maybe it's not that. It's just the next step. What's the next step? Because when you take
Yeah.
that step, the next one is revealed, because you are the creator and you create everything from the now moment. This is what the Andromedan star mothers and the beings from Antares that I connected with brought through, is the understanding that we are master creators and we
Yeah.
create in every moment. There are billions of realities that we move through in every moment, and we create constantly. And so it's
Yes.
that alignment, bringing alignment in the body, the energy body, through the
Mm.
chakras with elemental alchemy, which then helps you, especially with the neurodiverse stuff. That's helped me so much. So yeah.
Well, that sounds like a very valuable space. I just wrote down, L is helping mission souls become visible. and step into their mastery.
That's amazing.
And that's what I'm doing in the spaces that I hold too. So I work with activating people's what I call divine blueprint, which is really just activating more of their divine essence, that beautiful light, the full light that you are, really activating that and embodying that in your heart, in your body, and in your energetic fields. And then really creating those strong connections with your higher self and your team of light, all of your guides, all your masters. Because once you start calling in all of your team, then you know how to really create. You're really knowing how to co-create with them to manifest things in this reality. And then the more that you do that, the more aligned you feel, the more powerful you are, the more aligned everything is in your life. So that is my mission on that one-to-one and the group scale. And yeah, I've moved away trying to move away from the terms of like life purpose and life mission and just reframing that into service work. How can I be of service? What value can I offer others? And so yeah, I just say higher service work, because I feel
Beautiful.
like that covers a lot. And the same
Mm,
with the term emissary of light or light emissary, and moving away from light worker and some of those other terms. Nothing wrong with those terms. I just think there's some instinct to like reframe and update the terms with us. I know is that like an ADHD thing? Do other people do that? I'd love to hear from other people who just love words and like to really refine language to pinpoint
mm.
things. Um,
It's constant evolution. That's what I feel like it is. Having ADHD, it's like this constant feeling of evolution and creativity. How can we make this better? And that used to really piss me off that, that I would be like that. It really
yeah.
would. I was like, Jesus, can I just not think about how the flowers can be arranged in a different way in this event or something? Like, it's
That can be
just
so
stop.
exhausting. The constant in wanting to improve and optimize,
Yes.
that's really hard for me to turn off. Like, why can't I just relax? Why does that little tiny thing that's not quite lined up bother me so much? Yeah, I totally resonate with that.
Oh.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Light Emissary group, I will be there. Anybody watching? So you better be there. We'll
Yes, it's
meet you
going to be
there.
Elle's first time in the group. Yay. Yay. This is part 2 of this video where we're going to tune in together with the Arcturians. And we've never done this together before, so I'm really excited about how this is going to flow and expand.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to close my eyes and then I'm going to invite both of us to bring forward our Arcturian self or your Arcturian team, whatever makes sense to you. I just feel like we're going to start there to bring all of that energy together. And as I'm speaking it, it's already done. Tick, 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 tick. So for those of you who are maybe new to this type of channeling or transmission, what I am doing and what we are doing together is we are tuning into the higher dimensions of light and information. Tick, 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 because we live in a multi-dimensional universe. And with our intention and our energy, we can connect with beings who literally live in a different dimension to us. Tilino anarakarina. So again, I'm asking my Arcturian self and team to connect with me now in purity and love. And I'm also asking for this radiant golden light from source creation to enfold and surround me and Elle together. And to enfold those who are receiving this transmission. Holding you in purity and love. Yes. And bringing our Arcturian selves together within that golden sphere of light. Kanara kurantisi. And the energy is big, expansive, as there's lots of excitement, acknowledging the excitement. And I'm feeling lots of violet purple light entering, as well as the typical turquoise and gold that I associate with the Arcturians. And I sense just our higher selves just acknowledging this moment. Just acknowledging this moment and how we have been brought together here in this way, how we have orchestrated this. Yakurina sayin taru ushukwan maragayena. And I sense that we're about to lift up in light, which means we're going to move up into the higher dimensional space altogether. But before we go up, I just want to check in with Elle if there's anything you want to share here before we go forward.
I was receiving from the Arcturians the joy and their intention to stay in the playfulness and the energy of playfulness, and their acknowledgement of the beauty and the joy in the curiosity of the human mind. And they are here to support in the expansion of all beings here in this container with us now.
Thank you, Elle. Thank you for sharing that important message. And as you were saying that, I just felt this huge expansion through my heart space as the Arcturians are communicating this expansive, unconditional love they have for us. Tanarakwari. And yes, they come into this co-creative space with such deep love and respect for us. Honoring all beings as divine source creation. And that we are all walking each other home to the light. And I feel like if you could imagine this geometric light as almost a platform, and we are standing upon that platform with our Arcturian selves, and then that platform lifts up. It lifts up through the dimensional layers, lifting up through this column of light with the geometry, with all the colors, the violet and purple, the turquoise and gold, green light, tanarakuyen, ti. And as we move through the dimensional layers, our hearts also expand. We are expanding. And just have a sense of that platform sort of stopping at a certain level, like being in an elevator. It stops at a certain level. I'm hearing 9. So that could refer to the 9th dimension. Marisaruku. Yes. Okay. And now I feel like we're all just sitting here together having a conversation. Tanmara iya. And the Arcturians bring forward into the center of our group a download of light, which appears as geometry, an orb of light, which is a multifaceted download, and it also helps us to connect all of our higher minds so that we can communicate more easily on that telepathic frequency. Yes, thank you. The technology they have always amazes me. Yes, thank you. Okay, now there is a sense of let's begin. So Elle, do you want to bring forward one of your first questions, or just to share more impressions that you're already getting in this space?
The group collective mind was something that was coming into my awareness as we were ascending through the dimensions. And this is something that the human being will come into more understanding of. And there is more presence and more attention and more awareness around this coming out at this time. The telepathy tapes of autistic beings. And so I just feel from the Arcturians so much joy and playfulness in this co-creation and excitement. And the first thing that I would love to receive from the Arcturians is, what is ADHD?
They are reverberating this frequency of joy, lightheartedness, and very childlike curiosity. Yes. So ADHD is a term that you have created to explain a very small part of a variation of human functioning. Me, like they were showing you of ADHD and autism having a certain light. They're showing me a geometry of ADHD. As a template of light, a geometric pattern, a blueprint of light. Yes, we note that one of the distinct features or behaviors within ADHD is speed of thought, speed of information transfer. Yes, and they're showing me sometimes the physical vessel of the human is not optimal, as in when the physical body is not in optimal health, the functioning of the higher templates of ADHD do not function correctly and can cause disturbances in the body and in the field. Yes, this is something they're saying that they observe. It's quite common. And again, they're referring to what Elle has described previously of the operating more in the higher chakra range. And the neglect of the lower chakra systems. And they're demonstrating, yes, the importance of being connected to the higher frequency field of Gaia, which is coming online more and more every day. This can be very beneficial. And they show me that visually as a gold, with a gold, almost plasma light within the earth. Tanmara kare no kuye. And actually being grounded into that golden earth plasma is beneficial for what you call the neurodivergence. It actually supports the awakening of the divine human and supports all of the systems of light within.
Thank you so much for that understanding on ADHD. I would like to also hold some space for autism, what we have labeled as autism. And I use the word labeled as I do and have received in that moments ago that the human mind does love to label things, and the ADHD and autism and neurodiverse aspects of the human being, human consciousness, is an energy that sometimes cannot be labeled. So I do wish to hold space for autism. What is autism? Does it hold a different energetic frequency to ADHD? And if so, what is it?
As soon as you ask the question of autism, they immediately said feeling based, feeling based, feeling based. Deep empathy, the nervous system, and operating from the higher heart. And they show me the heart now, the heart center. There is something also awakened within the heart space with this particular template of experience, that you call autism. There is something awakened in the heart. So they're just bringing through that knowledge, that download of what that is to you as well. And they show me the heart, just the way it's open and expansive. There's something about that is very unique.
Magnetic. I'm receiving the magnetism of the heart. It's like a compass. And the heart moves us and we feel. And it is this allowing of feeling. And autistic individuals feel so deeply empathetic. And many are understanding that they are feeling what those around them are feeling, like a temperature gauge.
Yes, the heart field is expanded in such a way where it can tune into all possibilities. The heart is the guidance system rather than the mind. Tick, 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 tick. And it's like the heart guidance system of those on the spectrum is the most dominant. It is the most dominant. The evolution of human beings and spiritual beings does not occur in the mind and through intelligence of the mind. The only way that humans will evolve is through the heart. And that is why this wiring and this template is the new template, where everything is led by love and the higher intelligence of the heart. For we say that the mind is very powerful, but the mind is like a computer. It can only run on the programs it was programmed with. It does not contain, it does not have its own essence of intelligence. It is a learning machine. The heart is the universal intelligence of source creation.
Thank you so much for that understanding. That is a beautiful concept to bring forth for autism, for mothers of autistic children, and for an understanding of how they function, how they feel. I feel called to speak about the nervous system and allowing space, transition time, and an environment which is nourishing for these children and for ourselves. To hold that space in order for us to come online in the most beautiful, gentle way. I wanted to ask about masking. This is a concept that many use, that we have labeled to hide and change the true essence of who we are within, and even before we are diagnosed as neurodiverse, whether ADHD or autistic. And I wanted to ask, what is the impact of masking on the energy, body, and soul signature of neurodivergent beings, where we are not expressing from our true essence because we maybe do not fully understand it? What is the impact of masking on the energy body?
Children learn to adapt their behavior to please others and to make themselves feel safe, which is a very common experience with Earth children. Even the smallest, most subtle experience of having to adapt one's behavior as a child can impact the being in the future. The impact on the energy body acts like a suppressant. And just generally, they're saying it's so individual. For example, any trauma, as you know, can create a hole or a break in the auric field, tikara, where energy can leak out and where invasive energy can enter. And as I'm talking, I feel like they're giving you a visual download, like they're showing you the energy field and they're giving you information. So just trust what you're receiving. Yeah, so just saying it creates layers of suppression, which then can be a lot to wade through later on in life once one as an adult has the capacity to go through the layers of suppression or trauma.
What came through quite vividly for me was part of my own experience and visceral feelings that I would go through growing up in a household of trauma, growing up in a household of domestic violence, and what it caused as a sensitive soul for me. And I received a lot of almost like heart attack. It felt like a heart attack. And I would even get them as I grew older. But to me, now I look back and that is a gift for me, because now I understand and I can feel so deeply into the heart space, what they were mentioning earlier. And the journey of unraveling and allowing the walls to come down around the heart and rediscover the heart space is such a beautiful journey in itself. And that's what many are called to do at this time. And it is to approach the feeling of everything, because it is feeling. It's feeling and allowing it all to come out, whether that is divine rage, sadness, tears. We feel in order to heal.
Yes.
And many of us did grow up masking and hiding and suppressing. And it is a time to release those things and to come back into our true essence and in all our quirkiness and weirdness.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. And what the Arcturians are bringing through on the tail end of what you shared is that is part of the process of healing for many neurodivergents, is the space finally to unleash what has been suppressed without any judgment or decoding of any particular emotions. They're saying not even naming. It's just that release of finally letting things out that have been suppressed for so long. And there are people watching this where, yes, the suppression over consistent masking and suppression has different effects on people's bodies in different ways. There are some people listening to this who have chronic health problems, chronic physical issues in their body, and that some of those people, those chronic conditions are connected to the suppression of big emotions, of grief, of guilt, of disappointment, of just feeling things deeply but didn't have the permission or space to safely express. That is part, there is a link there. And the Arcturians are even showing here that through these conversations and through other neurodivergents finding one another, there is the gathering of more groupings, they're saying groupings, where a safety of space is created to begin the healing now. Yes, they're acknowledging that. And then they're also, I just wanted to share that the Arcturians are bringing through, like, this whole time that we're connecting with them, this very soothing aqua light. And I feel like they're bringing it into the nervous system. It's very calming, it's very peaceful light. So you may be sensing that or picking up on that as well within their presence. And that is also a way to identify their energy, because they bring this deep, I call it a stabilizing peace. I don't know if I should use this word because it's not actually accurate, but it's like, it just calms the nervous system. It's not an energetic sedative. It's not the right word. But I think they bring.
But when you're neurodiverse, it's like, yes, please, I'll take one of those.
Yeah, it's similar, obviously. It's not a chemical sedative. Yeah, so that's just the word they used. It's not a sedative, but that's one of the impacts of that frequency. It brings this peaceful energy. It's very stabilizing. So you might be feeling that, and that's them. They're bringing that in. And if you don't want to receive that, just say no, thank you. Everything is optional. Yeah, everything is optional.
I have an interesting question for the Arcturians. Why do neurodivergent individuals often struggle with linear time and schedules. This is one from me. Help.
It's funny because they're almost putting that question back on you because you already know the answer. Would you like to
Yeah, I
share
know.
your answer?
Yes. Okay, this was something that it's funny that came through because I started writing this and only wrote a sentence and then I didn't get more of it down. ADHD, autism. We're operating outside of time and space, both outside and inside the perception of time and space. So it is a multi-dimensional perspective of time, both within and without. And we are becoming more aware of the outside time and space at this time as we move into a higher dimension of reality, as Gaia is ascending. I'm getting the understanding of solar flares and the incoming light to the planet and the many beings who are here to support us at this time. It is a huge co-creation, and neurodiverse souls struggle with time and structure because they are both outside and within. And so I'm getting the understanding of a structure being created. This is what came through as an understanding last week, is a structure or a raft or a boat that is being built while the rapids are, and the consciousness and the flow is becoming more and faster. And so let's see if there's anything else coming in around this.
That's a really good answer. And that is your highest self and the Arcturians bringing all of that through. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, the essence of what they said is exactly the same. It's just the internal sense of time. The internal sense of time is different to the operating time that you all agree to, as in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That time. Tan Marekari. And again comes back to the energy, the natural energy inclination of the wiring, as in working in bursts, needing lots of time to decompress. The conventional ideas of working time, rest time, break time is too structured. It doesn't move with feeling, it moves the same all the time. And while some repetition is favorable, you are not wired to operate that way, because again, that is operating from the mind, not the body and the heart with feeling. It is not operating from feeling, it is operating from mind constructs. Tick, 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 tick.
There was 2 components I was shown in that piece also around the cyclical part of working with the cycles of the human body and nature and getting back more in tune with that. And also the other piece which came in first was the number 13 and how the time structure of this human construct, this 3D space, has been constructed to the 12, but there is a 13th. And I'm getting there is a 13th archetype.
Yes.
There's a 13th, which has been missed or unintegrated. and needs to be reintegrated.
Yes.
And so time is slightly off for us, and we feel that. Do neurodivergent souls often take on collective distortion patterns for transmutation?
Yes. Yes. Some consciously, mostly unconsciously, as something the higher self has elected to do. Yes. Including generational trauma to transform, because the innate wiring allows for deep transformation of old stories, archetypes, and programming. You must understand that this frequency you carry, it dismantles the old. Dismantles distortion. It brings the purity, the essence back. That is why many elect to transform those deeply ingrained energies, because it is part of the network of the dismantling. Teya.
Beautiful. I felt that so deeply through my entire being.
Okay. I just feel like it's just closing for now. We will reconvene as well. There will be more of these meetings and greetings. And they just want to honor all that has been shared. And I feel like they're bringing all the energy, the focus, into this central orb of light. Yes, and it's like the Arcturians within this orb, which again is that turquoise aqua color light. They are, yes, it's like within that orb, they are holding all of us in such love and reverence. I just inviting you to feel that, as if the whole earth was within that orb. They're just saying, we are you. We are your family. We are your brothers and sisters. We are one. Yes, and just at the end here, they're saying that is the other template that many neurodivergents are carrying, the unity template. All beings are part of the divine source creation. And deep within each of us, we know we are one. We are connected, inexplicably connected. And when you go through the veils of illusion to become a human on the earth, you forget many things, but you retain much. You retain much. And as the veils of illusion drop away, the unity, the templates return. And they guide you into further expansion and remembrance. Yes. Thank you. Thank you to our Arcturian teams, our Arcturian selves, for this transmission this day. We love you and we bless you. And we are in gratitude.
Deep gratitude for this space for you, Lauren, and for moving back and forth between connecting with the Arcturians and through your own conscious experience, and thanking every soul for being here with us in this container, which is timeless. And with love to everyone for anything that they have gained, and asking those who want to connect, and even bring through questions for any future transmissions.
Yes, I echo the welcoming of questions. Yes. Yes, and so it is. And thank you, yes, for receiving. Thank you for opening your heart to receive these conversations and transmissions of light. And thank you, Elle, for this joyful experience of this co-creation. I'm so grateful. I feel really good. Yeah, and I'm just so excited to keep connecting with our Arcturian selves, our multidimensional selves, to bring through that information. And I love that that was a beautiful weaving, not only with us together, but the way we're weaving our own inner wisdom, our inner knowing with the Arcturians' insights. Just felt really, really balanced.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the
So,
visuals during that were incredible. And it's like, I hope that whoever's listening receives those and sees that too, and just allow it to come through.
yeah. So, yeah, I guess we'll leave that there for today. There's a lot came through in one session. So, honoring
Yes.
everything that came through. And thank you for receiving. Thank you for listening. And stay tuned for part 3 as this conversation continues. And as Elle said at the end of our first conversation, let it be a slow burn.
Slow burn. Because it's going to keep burning anyway.
Exactly. Let's just stretch it out and just slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, slow it down. It's always that, slow it down.
Let it be. Let
That's
it
a
be a
big
slow burn.
key.
Yeah. All right. So thank you everyone for joining, and we will see you for part 3.